We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the Voices of Contact.
We are the voices of experiencers because we are the experiencers. It's time for disclosure and it's time for the truth, because truth brings powerful transformation, and we are the voices of change. We are all about evolution at an expansive level, living life without fear and becoming the bridge between two different realities. Profound evolution is here. Profound integration is here. This is the Voices of Contact. Hi, everyone. I'm Mary. I'm a channeler and psychic medium. I'm also a hypnosis regressionist for ET experiencers, and I work with MUFON doing regression work. I also work with PTSD experiencers, paranormal experiencers, and victims of crime to assist them in recall. I'm really looking forward to another amazing show with our panel. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the work you're doing. It's impactful. It's life-changing. And I thank you for being here with me. And it means more than you realize, as well as to the listeners. So, allow me to introduce some of my favorite people. First, we have Deb and RJ DeRoos. They're authors, paranormal UFO researchers, and they're experiencers themselves. They're also the founders of the Michigan UFO Contact that happens every year in Houghton Lake, Michigan at the end of September. They're also owners and managers of the Mystical Awakenings Radio, Mystical Awakenings Vodcast, and the YouTube channel, and a Mystical Awakenings metaphysical store in Houghton Lake. Next, we have Deb Cobble. She was the central figure in Bud Hopkins' international bestseller, Intruders, The Incredible Visitations at Copley Woods, which was made into a CBS miniseries in 1992. She is co-author of the book Abducted, The Story of Intruders Continues, and author of Extraordinary Contact, Life Beyond Intruders. She's a former Indiana MUFON investigator and co-founder of her own paranormal group, Paranormal Underground, and hosts the Midwest Paratalk podcast with co-founder Greg Cable. And then we have Dana Stricker. She is a born psychic medium, and she has been reading professionally since the age of 15. While she excels in her psychic and mediumship ability, Dana is also known for her exceptional skills in remote readings. She's also known and very well-established medical intuitive. In addition to reading professionally worldwide, Dana has worked nationwide on numerous missing person cases. With the amazing panel that we have tonight, I know that anything is possible, and we're going to get deep down in discovery and answers to what's really going on out there. This show is all about transmutating the light from the dark and to replace fear with knowledge. Through my regression work, I have come across amazing cases with some amazing clients. And it's my passion to work with them and to help them have a better understanding of the contact they've had, whether they were taken, have had contact in the physical realm, or through a dream state. I'm grateful that my clients have agreed to allow me to use the regressions on the Voices of Contact. This is the place to be, because the panel breaks down the experiences, providing powerful feedback. I love it because all of the listeners get to connect and learn, and the person I regressed walks away even more immersed in their experience with a new perspective on their contact. So literally, it's a win-win, right? This is the Voices of Contact.
Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
All right.
Hey, guys. Hope you had a good week.
Yeah. Tried to anyway.
Yay.
So we'll just get right in there. So just like a recap on the regression from last week. This is a continuation. It was a little slow going, trying to pull information out of the subconscious. But towards the very end, especially in the last clip, there was that discovery that she has this purpose of being able to connect the dots between alien species and the human species, as well as her being Palladium, being from there, and then her moving forward and then realizing she actually had gotten taken to a ship. And the whole point was to join this meeting of bringing all these different species together to realize that we're all one. So it kind of takes off from there. And we ask why she was taken on that ship to get more information.
Love it.
What was the role at the meeting?
Understand why some don't want to play along with the others, like what they're hiding. Or
How will it help for her to understand that?
it's hard to. A negative isn't necessarily negative. It's point of view.
Sometimes it's all about perspective.
Yes.
Okay. I had the experience where her dog came and sat next to her, and the bird came and sat down and was staring at her. What can you tell me about that?
Testing the communication.
Who was testing the communication?
We were.
What were you doing that for?
So that she'll see the unseen.
And what do you mean by that?
There's always unseen. And it's always around that helps people.
What is? What's always around?
Kind of like energy or beings always around.
They're always around?
Mm-hmm.
And they're there to help?
Yes.
Okay. What is purpose?
So to give you a little bit of background, okay, this is one of the questions that she had. She had an experience where she was sitting on her porch. Her dog was sitting with her, and all of a sudden a bird just came and sat right next to her and just stayed there staring at her. It didn't move, and it stayed there for the longest time, and she was always curious about why those kind of things happened to her. So I found it really interesting that it comes out that, well, we're trying to get her to pay attention. We're trying to get her to see us, that, you know, sometimes the weird things that happen to you, they're really not as unknown as you think they are. We're just always around trying to connect and communicate, just like the spiritual realms, right?
Right.
But they've been trying to get her to see for a long time, but for whatever reason, she had that block.
Makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Really does. And I even can't help but think, you know, as a medium, we have to have faith to do our work. We have to understand that there are other things, other beings working with us for us to get the information that we get. So, yeah. Makes sense that they're working on others to get that across as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it might not necessarily been a bird. They just used the bird for
To get her to pay attention.
Pay attention, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We can coexist. And they probably even had some communication. I wonder, you know, did she and the bird speak telepathically while the bird was sitting there, or
And
whatever it was?
And that's what I was thinking, like, you know, last week's regression, when they kept on saying, pay attention to the signs. They've been trying to give her signs. And, you know, and it could be she just wasn't ready to see them,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But now she is. And I guarantee she'll be paying attention to the signs.
This song busted out, the bird is the word.
I love that song.
Thank you. Now that's going to be in my head the rest of the day.
Right. Do we have any idea, Mary, how old she might be?
I would say late 50s, 60s.
Okay.
She actually knows you, Deb.
Oh,
'Cause I do believe she was the one that she said that she talked to you about me. Just to get your curiosity.
now I'm curious.
Now you're going to think about it.
See, and I never, when I listen to regressions, I never want to try to figure out who it is because I don't want that to alter my thinking with it. So I don't listen to the voice in that way.
Speaking of the voice, her voice is different when she's in the, again, here we go, in the
Subconscious?
subconscious. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot more raspy.
Yeah. And a different tone.
And I think that's where you can tell where ET comes through and the subconscious, the difference between the two. That's my opinion, but
yeah. And you can tell that it's ET from the wording and the wheeze and the information that is given.
Yep.
Yeah.
When they finally decided to give in instead of making us pull teeth.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So I don't know if you could hear it at the end of the last clip because I cut out her name, but the next question was, so what is her purpose with all this? And I'm going to warn you, they do talk in circles at first.
Okay.
Like that's anything new, but
I like circles.
Not the unknown to the known. To find the path
And what's the path?
to everybody getting along.
Now, how can she go about doing that?
Reading the signs.
What are the biggest signs that she needs to pay attention to?
There's so many different ways.
What's the biggest one?
Numbers.
Numbers? She needs to pay attention to the numbers. And what should she do with the numbers?
How we communicate in this reality.
That's how she knows you guys are communicating. You're showing her numbers. What's the most important number?
Right now, 3.
3. Okay. What's so important about that number?
8.
It's a gate. So what?
Energy.
How can she use the number 3 to open the gate to energy?
There's 3 parts.
3 parts? What's the first part?
I don't know if it's the real, but it's like the body, mind, and spirit. The connection.
And how can she reach that connection?
With reading the signs around her. Like she did with her dog. Her dog, we communicate real well with her dog.
Okay. So the next time something like that happens, what do you want her to do?
See if there's anything else around.
What should she be watching for?
Is it making
Really, Mary?
I got to keep you guessing.
She's getting too good at this. I love it. I love it. Numbers. I mean,
Don't look at me.
So she's like they're trying to get
I
her to
married this
recognize
guy.
the synchronicities.
Mhm.
The synchronicities are speaking to us, and we need to recognize that. That's
Well,
like step 1.
Yeah.
There are no coincidences.
Right. 3 has a childlike energy, and it's very creative, very positive.
And the Trinity, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, and everything is
Must
in
be a
threes.
Yes, you should be a 3. Yes. Anyway, yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, well, like you said during the clip, that numbers are a universal language. So,
Yeah.
I've
Same math is.
always been intrigued with numbers and numerology, but I also, as a little kid and all my life, have had what we called back then number anxiety. I have trouble with numbers, so I find a number man who can, he's good
Number man.
he's good at doing that. But yeah, I mean, the 3 is very universal if you think about it. Like Deb said, the Trinity, and knock 3 times. When you pat somebody, it's usually 3. 3 is very universal, and I don't know why. So,
Well, there's probably a reason for it, right?
Mhm.
And that could be true. The 3 opens the gate,
Mhm.
but why and how?
the
And
3
3
main pyramids, the 3, there's 3 stars of Orion.
3 tumblers and a lock.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No,
3 strikes, you're out.
That's right. 3 strikes, you're out. That's a good one.
I found it interesting that they say in the end that we communicate really well with her dog.
Yeah. Animals and little kids, they haven't got all the psychological blocks that we have, so that would make sense to me. As a ghost hunter, I've seen video with little kids that are, and they can't, these children are toddlers. They can't be coached, and they're talking, they're clearly having conversations with somebody. So,
Mhm.
they're more receptive to it. So I say that's probably why. That would make perfect sense to me.
Yeah. So true. So true. And then you wonder, is the dog really a dog?
Yeah, there's that too. Yeah, that can be
I'll throw that in the mix.
shapeshifters and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, more stuff for Dana to flip out over.
Well, they've kind of proven to us that they're really good at shape shifting.
Yeah.
So
That they have. Yeah.
No, really?
Wah.
Where's that cat of yours?
I was gonna say the same thing, Mary.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
Don't we find it very funny? We're talking about animals and shape shifting, and my sister above me is wearing a feral T-shirt right now.
Don't go out in the
Just
neighborhood with that on. And Tesla says you can figure out the universe with a sequence of 3, 6, 9, multiples of 3.
That's
Oh,
the
I've read
magic.
that.
Isn't that the magic triad? 3, 6, 9.
Yeah.
And if you're doing chaos
Triangle.
magic, that's what you use in it,
Mhm.
along with the pyramids.
Yeah.
Something to it. Secrets of the
Right.
universe.
Right.
And there's some really cool information out there that the constellation Triangulum, that's where we come from. So if you want that information, I'll let you know.
Yeah. So again, a lot of what she said was, or what they said, it's not even her, was really making sense to me.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
it's crazy. It started out as a past life regression, and
That's
like
what
you
I
said,
keep thinking about is like how that started.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop
Mhm.
when I was like, what? But you just go with the flow, right?
Mhm.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I definitely feel she's a link.
Mm-hmm.
The
So
ultimate past life regression.
So for this next one, it continues on, and then we talk more about how she's going to help people tell the good species from the bad species.
Good.
This is she doesn't
The
cut
word
us off.
pretenders.
Okay. Who are the pretenders? Here's another question. Job going to be able to tell and help people find out what species are good species and what species are bad species?
Yes. Yes. Because it's hard to say. It's not so much that they're not good, it's they're not helping or they cause problems. It's to detect that.
Okay. And so that's
what interferes with people. And the closer she's gotten, the more she gets attacks.
what kind of attacks does she get?
So I'm not going to lie. So probably, a month and a half ago, I was really going through just a lot of crap and a lot of fear-based things and a lot of emotional stuff. And then after I did this regression with her, it hit me on my way to work, the word infiltrators. So it made me really think about all those fears that come through and all those odd thoughts and all the stressful thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
What if the regression's true and there are these species out there who are tapping into our energy to keep the fear going,
Mm-hmm.
to keep the anxiety going?
Absolutely.
So she actually, whether she knows it or not, she helped me, because at that moment I said, I'm done. I'm not feeling that way anymore. And then I started instantly feeling better. It's sort of like can't have that hold anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. If you were reversing me and you asked me who the pretenders were, I would said a band from Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, I forwarded it through because they refused to answer me.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just call them infiltrators.
Yeah.
I like that.
And that's what I was trying to tell earlier about this Galactic Federation. I think some want us to succeed, some don't. I think there's a big thing going on there. Obviously, it's not working yet.
Right. And we know that there are entities, maybe not necessarily ETs, but there are some out there, like archons, that feed off of our negative energy, and they want to keep us in a state of fear, in a state of chaos.
Absolutely.
Hate is fear. So if they can keep us hating one another,
it's up to us to get that gone.
Yeah. So
it's up to us to love and start loving one another. And it's up to us to start showing them, hey, that's not going to happen.
And I like this because it's put in my mind, the same thing that you went through, Mary. I love that. If people understand this, it can help them stay out of that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And if we know even a little bit more about who do we work with, who do we trust, who do we not work with, we can all advance faster.
That's where you come in, Dana. They got to come down and tell us who's who. Now, we're ready.
Yep, ready. We're ready. Some of us are ready.
It needs to happen that way for me personally.
Yeah, I agree. I'm ready.
How will it? I don't know. But that would be a good thing if we had some idea. I mean, we're learning through regressions and thousands of experiencers speaking out that there are some that we cannot trust and should not trust. But there are some that are totally wanting to assist us.
And I told
What was that? Did you hear it? Anyway, it's like a different voice.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't any of you?
No, it wasn't me.
No, it sounds like maybe it's one of they're trying to get through to us.
Hello.
could be.
Letting us know that,
But, hey,
I
I research this stuff every day. I really do. And I through my research, I find out who's good and who's bad. What do I really know unless I meet them? I don't know. I mean,
No, because in the research, I mean, we read and we read and we read, but it all depends on who you're reading from and what their theory is and what they think.
It's what
So-
people are saying that they've had experience with, and so Target and Pleiadians are one of them, and so I heard they're breaking away from the Federation because they're not doing us right, and they want to help us out. So we'll see, we'll see. A lot of people are channeling these people and talking about them. So
All right. So
just show up in my room right now, okay?
So this next one talks about how, like, certain species, like we were just talking about, come in and, use other people to come through to attack you, right? And I think that was probably one of her biggest questions. Like we talked in last week's episode, that was one of her biggest reasons for a past life regression, was to learn why she seems to be everybody's scapegoat. So while there was a slight connection in the past life, now we really start to get our answers.
Nice.
Attacks to make her feel bad, so she won't do certain things.
So is that sort of the scapegoat
Yes.
energy?
Yes.
How can she heal the scapegoat energy then?
It's sometimes it's something that's around her, and other times it's working through people.
Okay, that makes sense. What can she do to start protecting herself from that?
She's done better this time. She doesn't take it internally and hurt herself with it.
Okay.
I think this is a huge message for people. And I feel like that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to share it. Just because of how everybody goes through their day every single day, and people can be jerks and it affects them and tears them down. And how do we know we don't have species out there who are purposely trying to hold that vibration down? And I think that's why, like, the Pleiadians came through and they want to send out this message like, hey, look, it's kind of like it's spiritual warfare in its own right? So this is what's happening. Be aware of it so we can continue to raise the vibration instead of allowing it to keep being torn back down, because that's out. Like Dana said, we're in a crisis, right? So
Yes.
What else can we do to get the message out there to keep the vibration going, so people can have it in the back of their mind that maybe their thoughts aren't their thoughts, and maybe these people really aren't against them. It's something that's connecting to them, that's making them behave that way, that it brings you a different perspective.
Yeah.
You'll give them love instead of anger. I think it's an important message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And again, it ultimately ends up with us, how we deal with it and how we react to it and how we, rise above it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how we react is a big thing, because, we can't always control what other people say and how other people feel and what other people do.
Control
How
what
we react to that is where we can control that part of it. Either we can make it more negative, or we can rise up and either remove ourselves from it or enlighten it.
Well, it's just like, in Jack Sparrow's famous words from Pirates of the Caribbean, sometimes it's not the problem that's the problem, it's your reaction to the problem that's the problem.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
So, I always like that saying.
I like it too. And it's so true. So true. As human beings, we react. Instinct tells us to react.
Well, and if you react with fear and everybody, all the TV that gets watched and all the fear mongering that gets put out there, all you're going to do is watch it and have more fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like TV is an infiltrator. They use it to put that negative message out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why they invented it. And that's why it's not why they invented it, but that they knew right immediately it could be used as a tool to just put us in a mind control state. Same with cell phones. Same with computers. If we're not
social media is
media,
the devil.
Yeah, media. And
it can be a blessing or a curse.
6 and 11 o'clock news, turn it on.
But unfortunately, I think it's cursed more than it's blessed anymore, to be honest with you.
Who controls those
You
medias?
have to control
Keyboard warriors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I told y'all a story off camera about how I control my social media. You recall?
We recall.
Yeah.
That
I cannot repeat that. Sorry, it's a family show.
Yeah, I think your story is about a foot long.
And it's not $5.
But is it a hot dog?
What is this? What is this rated? Oh my God. You're gonna edit that.
Foot long hot dog. I mean, come on. I always think
sneeze.
I wasn't thinking naughty, maybe.
What am I gonna do with you girls?
Yeah, that's why you keep hanging out with us.
Too much.
Yeah.
You're outnumbered, buddy.
I know that's right.
But that's very good point, Mary, and that's why I don't do TV a whole lot. I did get into the Traders Canada because our buddy was on it.
Yeah.
Uncle John, who does the voice on here. But that was like the only thing I've TV wise I've really gotten into in quite a while.
We'll say that was a good message in this one. That everything's like our friend Michael says, everything's not kumbaya. I mean, we've got to be careful. We've got to watch what we're dealing with. We just can't go out and expect everybody to be nice out there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
I miss Michael.
Yeah, I know. It's a spiritual warfare too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, so we have to.
And it's all interdimensional, just like aliens.
Yeah, and we have to start asking the right questions and be aware of the right things and figure out this. What are we going to do as people? We're all looking for answers that people they're going to do it for us. We've got to come together and start thinking about what our future is. We need help. Don't get me wrong, and if they need to step in and let us know. Hey, this is where this is who you are, and this is where you're gonna go if you don't, and this is where you can go if you do this. But ultimately it's up to us.
I hate to do this to you guys, but I have to bow out.
Okay.
So
you take care, Dana.
Yeah, we love you. Take care. It's okay.
I will talk to you the next time.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
We love you.
Bye.
Give the family our love.
I will. Bye.
Or Dana, life happens.
It is what it is, right?
She has a lot going on. But wow. Yeah, I think this is an amazing, amazing regression. I really personally am getting a lot out of it, even though it started out different and slow. It's pretty powerful.
It proved I'm impatient.
Well, and I think it's a simple thing like, through the first part of that, it was them testing the waters to see, if you can be trusted enough with the information.
Right.
Especially with everything that's going on. Is it this the right person that's going to be able to put the information? It's going to put the information out there the correct way, and what the meaning is.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why the rest of it comes out. Like, so I know this is, this part is still ET related, but there's a bigger message with it, I think, where I feel like the Palladians, do you hear that? Yeah.
Are they
I feel
confirming?
like the Palladians are trying to get out, hey, look, everything's going to be okay. Just ignore all the energy that's coming your way.
Right.
And, clear it from your energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find it very interesting for this last clip. One of her biggest questions is she has a relationship where it's just turmoil to the point where she was just about to be done with being around this person. And so the ET comes through and says, you need to be patient because they're going through a rough time because there's other species that are working through them. So that's where this part comes out.
Oh, that's a twist.
How can she heal the relationship with?
It's in a bad place.
In what way is he in a bad place?
Influences.
By what influences?
Almost like some of the bad, that shouldn't be bad, but hard to explain. It's working through him to shut her down. But she's not allowing it.
So she just needs to understand that it's really not him.
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything she can do to improve the relationship?
Just by going out there.
Just go out there and spend time anyway?
Mm-hmm.
And don't take it personally?
Mm-hmm. And the other person influences him a lot. That's another species, though. We don't understand that.
What don't you understand about it?
That one we've experienced before.
Are you talking?
What's moving? What's
Moving through her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have any parting messages before we go?
Try to listen to all the communication.
What's the best way for her to tune into that communication?
Stay neutral.
What do you mean by that?
Let them show you the things to do. And just go along.
Just go along with the flow? And she'll just be naturally guided?
Yes.
So just trust in the signs?
That's difficult.
Mm-hmm.
That's very difficult. Especially, if they're working with her, for her to be able to recognize, I guess that does make a difference. But just knowing that some out there aren't, for the higher good of any of us, and then saying, trust.
Mm-hmm. Trust yourself. That's what they're saying. They're saying to trust your instincts, your guts, and the more you trust, and the better it gets, and the sharper it gets. For myself, I mean, I'm looking at it from my perspective, but I've been told this, or I got bad things around me, good things around me, but when it's something negative, I feel it.
Yep, you can feel it.
I can feel it, and the more I trust in that, the more intense it gets, and the more it happens. So, I mean, maybe she's kind of they're wanting her to trust in her own instincts, and because that's how she's going to grow and evolve, and then the more she does, the more they can do with her and for her and through her.
Yeah.
You know,
Because a lot of people, yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of people think everything's just wonderful, and a lot of people think everything's horrible, but it's in
No.
between.
dude,
There's
I can
bad-
walk down the hall. I can walk down the aisle at Walmart, and I can walk back past a person I don't even know, but my hair. I mean, my body's gotten so good at it over the years that literally the hair on my arms will stand up, and I immediately sense really bad stuff just from walking past this person. And then when I turn around and look at him, I can see it.
Yeah,
It's like a neon sign
right.
to me, you know, but
Mhm.
that comes with practice and in order to practice that, you have to trust, you have to have faith in it, and then faith in yourself. So makes sense.
Yeah,
does.
you're a sensitive, empathic sensitive. Yes, so for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so is she, apparent. I mean,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's why they finally removed the blocks, is so she can move forward and heal from some of the trauma and
Mhm.
see it for what it actually is.
mhm.
I'm sure there's much more because I'm positive they only gave us a smidgen of what's
And you-
actually there.
and she has to learn how to wall that off of, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
To block that from coming at her and doing more
Mhm.
harm. So,
Mhm.
Right. Right. And not only ETs, but sounds like humans as
people,
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's a lot of bad people in this world,
Well,
and they're
you
just
know,
bad.
humans are aliens too. So I mean, we're an alien somewhere. So it's just no different.
Well, I always feel like there's gotta, you know, sometimes when I was younger and more starry-eyed, I'd think, oh, why does there have to be bad people? Why can't
Right.
everybody just be naive? Like me, I always trusted everybody. I was so naive and
Yeah.
so childlike in my trust. And I'm like, as I got older, I got more jaded, and I thought, why in the hell? What is the point? Why do we have to have all these awful, mean people and all these bad things happen to people? And something said to me, you can't grow, you know, you can't have the yin without the yang. You can't have the light
true.
without the dark.
Mhm.
So it's a necessary thing that we have to learn to navigate, and not just navigate, but pull from and
Mhm.
learn through and grow out of. So that's my 2 cents for the day.
Well, it's very
They
good.
were a good 2 cents.
Yeah, very good.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that. I
Certainly.
appreciate it.
Anytime.
Yeah, because I'm the opposite, Deb. I go right with I don't trust anybody. Never have, never will. That's who I am. So while I love people, I truly love people, but I hold everybody at arm's length because I don't trust people. So you kind of had that opposite, and
Mhm.
as humans, we need to find that middle where we
Well, like she
sense
said, we
and-
need to
and
know
trust
who to
it.
trust and who not to trust.
Right. That's all.
Yeah.
I've tried not to let myself get jaded, you know, because
Mhm.
I've been through some shit in my life,
Mhm.
you know, which could easily make me not trust anybody ever, you know, as far as I could throw them.
Yeah.
But I have to, you know, and that's where my skill of trust in my gut,
Mhm.
you know, something in my mind tells me, trust her. She will never lead you wrong, but you have to listen.
Mhm.
And you can't just listen with your ears, because that's where all the synchronicities and the numbers and all that stuff comes in. Those are all meant to remind us
Right.
of what we can do, you know,
Mhm.
and trust.
Right.
The important thing is to trust in ourselves.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, and something I definitely need to work on.
Well, I need to work on it too. I sure ain't perfect about it. I'm a human being, and people really piss me off sometimes.
Mhm.
I got a nasty little temper.
No, I think we've seen a tiny bit of it.
Yeah, I dropped a few F-bombs earlier, didn't I?
Yeah, you're feral already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a pharaoh, was it?
No.
So Mary, she's in a relationship with somebody who is dealing with other beings. Am I getting that right?
Yeah, because so it's two people, and the biggest question is how can she improve that relationship, and the biggest answer is you're going to have to understand that they're going through something, and what's coming through him is not him. And it's same with the other female that's involved in this. There's a species that's working through her, but they don't recognize that species. They've never seen it before. So, they said to mend it, you're going to have to go out there and recognize that their behavior really isn't them. They're working through them to bring you down and stop you.
Yeah. She got to learn to
I think that happens,
set her
yeah.
boundaries.
Yep.
Don't let them take you down.
Right.
You got to have boundaries, and even sometimes you can't save the person that's being used, and you have to save yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that was kind of where my thoughts were going too, Deb, is even though it's other beings working with them, if things are being said and done negatively to hinder who she is and the work she's supposed to be doing, is it okay to even heal these relationships? Or
You can't change other
do you
people,
move forward?
and she can't control what controls him. She can only control herself and her ability to, keep herself in a good spot, So
Yeah, and that might have something to do with why it took this amount of time for her to get to the point that she is ready for this.
Yeah, man, you get yourself around the wrong people for whatever reasons, why ever they're behaving that way, it can really mess you up.
Yeah.
It can really stop you from blooming and becoming your whole full self that you're meant to be. It really drags you down.
Yeah.
I'm living proof of that. Trust me.
Maybe we'll get some more part of this disclosure. We'll know who not to trust and who not to, and that'll just get rid of their negative energy, period, because we won't even acknowledge that, and we'll be able to move on to a better place. So,
I mean, and it could be somebody. I mean, it could be our lovable Pleiadians or your reptilians or whatever.
Yeah,
it could just be a little faction of them that's not good.
Yep.
Like they got a different agenda than the whole.
Right.
So,
and I think that goes on. I really do.
People do it.
Yeah.
So that's true.
Right.
Well, I'm glad I played this one because I think when she listens back to it, the feedback you are giving her is really going to give her a different perspective and really help her.
Good.
Yeah.
So I thank you guys for that.
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Yep. And we thank her for allowing you to play this, because I stand by. I think this is a really good one.
It's very different. Yeah.
A lot of good information came out, and keep an open mind, people.
Yep, important information.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
All right, we love you guys.
You guys have a good night.
Yep. You guys have a wonderful
weekend.
Yep.
You too. We'll see you in a week.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
We're the voices of experiencers, and we are the experiencers of extraterrestrials. Just what's out there in the abyss, in the darkness of the unknown. It's time for disclosure, and it's time for truth, because what lies in the darkness brings powerful transformation. We're the bridge between two different worlds, with one foot in this reality and one in the next. The shift is here, along with profound integration. Just who are extraterrestrials, and what are their plans? It's time to find out with the voices